We, the ordinary citizens, have no option. The whole world will take it that, yes, the Uncle Tinubu government, so-called federal government of Nigeria, has a policy of paying bandits and terrorists. The history I narrated to you of collecting donations from all over the world by somebody who specialized in collecting donations. Do we really have a government if somebody who sold Nigeria's assets for 4 years at BPE, served as FCT minister for 4 years and served as governor, would say that there's a national policy of paying bandits? Do we have a government? Am I a citizen? Are you a citizen? Does Nigeria exist? Or do a pack of people live in a certain territory with another group of people claiming to misrule them? Do we have a government? Do we have a nation? What are we doing? Are people understanding the gravity of this statement? Do we have an office of a national security advisor? A national policy is official position of government, an official declaration that this is what we shall be constitutionally doing, what we shall be legally pursuing. That's what we call a national policy. It is made public, it is celebrated, it is broadcast to the whole world. Was such a thing held? Why did Nasir say it? If the office, so-called Office of National Security Advisor, will take this statement with levity, then Nuhu Ribadu was never a policeman. He is not a qualified lawyer. He should not be in that office.
What would you say he should be doing? His office has reacted to this.
That is not a reaction.
If you were at the NSA, what would you be doing?
Nasir should be writing some comments by now, some statements to the police, to the courts. If the position of Nigeria, the so-called APC government of Uncle Tinubu, if their official position is to be compensating bandits, paying bandits, then we don't have a nation.
So your inference tonight is that whatever Malam Nasir has said in that respect, which we played back,
yes,
it is not true. The government of the day should be taken more seriously.
Yes, and so long as it passes by with the so-called, what you call, reaction of the answer, then it is true. And I tend to agree that it could be true.
But if for example, I was going to ask
before this one, another almost 8-year governor of Borno State said that there are informants of terrorists in the Nigerian military and among Nigerian politicians, and it is official. You have the evidence. Before then, there was another politician who again said that bandits and terrorists were brought into Nigeria pre-2015 election. These are even small ones. Do you remember? Now, what I'm about to say and my arguments are that insecurity is part of APC. Insecurity has been APC's way of getting power. Insecurity has been part of APC's way of staying in power.
Is that fact or just your opinion?
That is my candid, firm opinion that is being strengthened by the kind of unfortunate comments like that of Nasiru.
So,
2 days ago.
But there are no facts to what you're saying. There are no facts to what you're saying. If there are opinions, how would you say a government of the days, part of their life or living is insecurity?
That I'm giving you the facts. Now I have clearly given you 3 statements of politicians, government functionaries that are undisputed. Now I have clearly given you 3 statements of politicians, government functionaries that are undisputed. I have given you this. Go back in time. Do you remember that a former Nigerian president was attacked by terrorists? Unprecedented, never in the history of Nigeria did that happen. Do you also remember that I made a passing statement on that in 2022, which as usual, people didn't take seriously. Why did some young men in the forest in the northeast, what business do they have? When Nigerian leaders leave, they are liked, they are loved, they are forgiven all their errors and everything. This one they followed and tried to kill him. Why did that happen? What happened in all the donations leading up to 2015? Why decide to come back and run in 2015 after crying and telling the whole world you're no longer contesting? What was the link with North Africa? What was the link with Muammar Gaddafi? He's not alive, but others are alive to say it.
You are from Kaduna State, Senator.
This is Shehu. And I'm in so much pain, believe me. Nigeria is a great country, it should be a great country, and we have people destroying us by the hour. Insecurity has been part of APC's game. And Nasiru is saying it, and I think he's right. The government has been paying them.
No, you don't.
Last year, this time, I have facts.
No, the government has said no, they are not paying them.
They are paying them because the reaction of UNSA is not disputing what Nasiru has said.
You are inferring that the NSA should arrest Nasiru.
No, I'm not interested.
Or collect his statement. But if that happens, there are those in opposition that will say they are going after opposition voices.
There are more ways to counter such opposition. I told you about 2015. You see, going after a former Nigerian president, trying to kill him. What does that tell you? Something. Before that, what had happened? After Jonathan won in the Supreme Court, they called for dialogue, and those young men nominated a former Nigerian president who took 3 days to repudiate. After those 3 days, go and plot the graph. You will see that between 2012 to 2014, the spikes of attacks around those villages in the northeast skyrocketed because hunger, lack of medicine. Why? Because somebody had stopped sending the recurrent expenses of those people who used to come all the way to Kaduna, collect and then go back, and that's how the cycle went. In protest as to why did you call that name, they couldn't bear it anymore and felt by 2014 the best thing was to go and attempt. It failed. We're lucky. They got Jonathan scared. He thought that, if they kill this man, Nigeria will burn. They provided him with additional cars, more money, and it was all about money. It was all about collecting money. The truth is that somebody had gone to North Africa, negotiated with Gaddafi. Gaddafi, who is was an international terrorist, all over the world, from the far west to the far east, said, I will help you, like I've been doing. I heard there are some young men. There are plans to kill Gaddafi, not in a palace coup, but through uprising. If it fails and you become president, I will retire to your country if you become president. If it doesn't fail, right now, he wanted to create a buffer. So he sent Saif al-Islam, go on YouTube and find out, to Niger with money, cash, millions of dollars in his boots, to recruit Tuaregs to go and fight in Libya. Sent his former general to Mali, why you still have insecurity in Mali. In Nigeria, they give crazy amount of money to that gentleman. Go and help these people with the intention of bringing them to fight in Libya. When Gaddafi died, they sat on the money. They kept on with the recurrent until after mentioning the name, and then they stopped sending the money. They became, now all these things are linked. They wanted Nigeria to burn if Buhari did not become president in 2015. I contested alongside Buhari for Senate. I contested for Senate in 2011. You have it on YouTube. He said, blood, soaked in blood, the baboon and the... Ever since he made that comment, I refused to go and campaign with Buhari. Refused completely. It didn't matter if I lost the Senate seat. I won it eventually. Insecure for a former president to say, you soaked in blood. And then Kaduna is my state. There was serious violence in Kaduna. Many houses were burnt. Emia's houses in Ongwansarki, Demna Abba had their houses burnt and all that, simply because of a statement. They went and brought in people from those neighboring places in readiness to remove Jonathan by all means. So the desperation of people to get Jonathan out of power has built up and added to what we call insecurity in Nigeria today.
So you're inferring that all what we have seen over the last few years as insecurity is orchestrated?
Of course.
And it's political?
Of course. Last year around this time.
This narrative.
Last year around this time. Whatever I tell you, I'll try to give you evidence. Last year around this time, we were just negotiating the release of our own nephew. And when he came out, what he said is not much different from what Nasir El-Rufai is saying. They complained that, and this young man is alive. He could come here tomorrow and you interview him. He's alive now in Zaria. He's alive. That, look, they're not making much money relying on these handouts from government. Each time they go out to operate, they make more money, like he does in their hand. We kept negotiating. He's alive and he can come to this and sit with you, Shehu Akimbaloyi, and you interview him. This is a fact. But my grudge with Nasru's statements is that he was part and parcel of APC from 2013. Like he told you, he was one of the architects of it all. All of a sudden, to come and absolve himself and call others. No, Nasiru is part and parcel of all that has been going on. We suffered, we are victims of Nasiru's misrule in Zaria. Go back December 2015, when a war was supposed to have been won in the Northeast. What business, what military and strategic business did an army chief have to come to Zaria for a convocation, not of NDA, graduation of recruits, privates, choosing to follow the route where the Shiites were holding. All these things were orchestrated. They knew the exact hour, the exact minute that he was coming to pass, because they had the technology. And 800 people were killed because they wanted to raise down the temple that was built. These things were carefully doctored and orchestrated.
These are heavy allegations that you are making, and which one will imagine? One will imagine someone of your status in the society. Yeah. Why are you just saying this? Why are you saying this? Does it amount to a political gimmick, or no? What exactly are you up to with this?
Shehu, I've been saying it. I said it in your own program. I mentioned the link about North Africa. In your own program, go back and check. Play the archives and see. Wherever I spoke, I linked electoral fraud with insecurity, corruption and insecurity. I have always done this.
I'm worried, actually, with some of the things that you are saying. But what is at the heart of all of this is that people are being killed. And the government is saying innocent soldiers are also losing, and the security operatives are losing their lives. The question is, where do we go from here? How do we stop this cycle? If you say they are political in nature, for the sake of God, how do we stop this cycle of killings?
Only when you have the right leaders. You can only have the right leaders when you have them truly elected. So long as people will steal an election, so long as people will capture a nation, you will never have security. Most important, most drastic, most horrific is that when that group of people use the tools of insecurity like we have seen in 2015, and it worked, and they achieved what they wanted. And again, they use now, for example, the tools of religion, ethnicity, division within political parties, heavy use of money, security, constitutional abuses and breaches. The law means nothing. It is just what one individual decides. Irrespective of what the law says, you have to go and change the law to what suits that individual. There cannot be security. Not just peace, there cannot be security. Now let's go back. The purpose of being together in a nation is that you must be secured. by whoever is leading you. If you're not secured, you're living in hell. You're not in a nation. Like, we're almost there now. If that is the purpose, and you have someone who served as 8 years as a governor in one of the federating units, to come and say that it's a policy of the government to reward, because pay is reward, to reward terrorists and criminals. And the history of these people who have been in power, including the governor who said it, is that it is consistent with what he claims now to be doing. And that government is still ongoing. They still have another 2 years to go. We, the ordinary citizens, have no option. The whole world will take it that, yes, the Uncle Tinubu government, so-called federal government of Nigeria, has a policy of paying bandits and terrorists. The history I narrated to you of collecting donations from all over the world by somebody who specialized in collecting donations, by somebody whose entire political game, presidential contest, was because there was no way to sustain the ecosystem around him. They have to contest elections every 4 years. So even after 2011, they must contest elections, especially with the kind of money that people of like the same El-Rufai was bringing to contest. There can be no security for us ordinary citizens of Nigeria so long as you have electoral heist, underwritten, guaranteed by the kind of money and fraud that is taking place now. One single contract of 15 trillion naira extra, if I say judiciously, extra legally awarded. You cannot, you and I ordinary citizens will continue to live in a country that is close to hell, because it is close to hell. Last year, our family got together and rescued one of our nephews. Every day, you like to ask for evidence. The evidence is with you people in the every day. Villages and villagers are sacked from their villages, killed, carted away. Human beings are traded on the commodity like bags of rice that we like talking about. The standard price of human life now is out there. And you have a so-called government that are basking in the fact that they stole 2023 elections, and again that no one can stop them from taking 2027 again. Before then they go and remove the Northeast and the Northwest from the Federation and allow the other units to go on their own. I will come back to that in some other setting. There is no peace, there is no security for us living in close to hell. So long as these people are worshipped, continue to be worshipped by sycophants, telling them what they are doing is right. They are buying politicians who are jumping ship to join APC and give them the falsehood that they are doing well. There will be no security in it. It will continue to fail. Right. They are getting closer to Abuja. They are getting closer and closer and closer to Abuja. This insecurity we're talking about. So long as the president the so-called president is aloof with the realities on ground and has a so-called vice president who has been reduced to just going for wedding ceremonies, burial ceremonies, in the situation that Nigeria is, look, it is easier for the federal government of Nigeria now to send a whole vice president to go for condolence visits and wedding ceremonies than when 200 people are killed in the villages in Katsina. 52 were killed 2 days ago. He didn't go. But
we're totally out of time.
Because,